Hey guys, it's Charlie. It is February 16th, Tuesday. I briefly want to talk about this jobs bill and point out the hypocrisy that we deal with in Washington that is absolutely crystal clear to me, and I'm sure to you too. But if you have occasion to talk about a jobs bill with somebody, you'll be able to point out what this thing's really about. And what it's really about is trying to get people reelected in November. Has absolutely nothing to do with jobs, has nothing to do with stimulating the economy, in my opinion. And let me explain. Grassley and Baucus put out an $85 billion jobs bill, that we shouldn't even need because the $787 billion stimulus package last year, apparently it fixed the economy and everything's getting better. So I don't know why we need this little token stimulus package now. But they come up with an $85 billion plan. Harry Reid decides he's going to pare it down to $15 billion. And I think the reason he has done this is twofold. Number one, by paring it down, he's going to dangle this in front of the Republicans in the Senate and say, go ahead, I dare you to vote against it. Because they will be able to take that in November and say, well, the Republicans voted against a jobs bill that was comprised mostly of tax credits. The other thing he'll be able to do is go to Nevada in November and say, look at me, look what I've done. I've taken this $85 billion bill, and I know that this deficit spending is out of control, so I pared it down to $15 billion, and $13 billion of it is tax credits. So for him, it's a win-win. The Republicans vote no for it, he can bash them. If they vote yes, he can go back home and say, look how great of a job I'm doing for you. The fact of the matter is, it's not going to create, in my opinion, one single job in this country. However, when your representatives come back home and are running for re-election, I guarantee you they're going to have charts showing, look at all the jobs we've created with this jobs bill. Because any person who's the head of HR, any manager of a company is going to absolutely be out of their mind if they have to hire somebody not to pick somebody who's 2 months unemployed so they could take advantage of this tax credit. They'd be crazy not to. But in the businesses I talk to, from under $1 million to over $50 million, to a person, the heads of HR, the managers have all said the same thing. I'm not going to add one person because of this bill. How can they possibly think you're going to suddenly ramp up hiring because you're going to get a $5,000 tax credit? That's ridiculous. I mean, in order for a real business, not a government-owned business, but a real business, to hire somebody, they got to have a reason. Is it going to generate enough revenue to offset their wage, to offset the insurance, to offset their other taxes that they have to pay on them? $5,000 is a joke. Yeah, it will be used because, like I said, if you're head of HR and you didn't use it, you're a knucklehead. But it's not going to create anything. However, when your representatives come back home, they're going to be able to say, look, in the last 2 quarters, we've created 600,000 jobs because look, that's how many number of people applied for the tax credit. These are 600,000 people who are going to be hired regardless because there's no company that is going to hire because of it. They got to replace people who've retired or quit or got fired. When they replace, they're going to take advantage, and then the politician is going to take advantage of that statistic and try to get their butts reelected. Now, one thing that they're holding out in this jobs bill, and maybe it'll come in another piece of legislation, is an extension for unemployment benefits. Right now, it's up to 99 weeks. You can go 99 weeks without work and still get a state from your check. Well, they're going to extend it again because they don't, in March, 1.2 million people fall off that 99-week roll, and they won't have anything. They'll be on welfare. Well, the politicians can't let that happen, especially in an off-year election. So they're going to pass this thing, and people will be able to go up to 124 weeks now without working. Now think about that for a minute. 2.5 years virtually. That's an associate's degree in most community colleges. That's as long as a lot of stints in the military, 2.5 years. And with passing this, the only thing you're doing is, again, hurting small businesses. Because, big major corporations like General Electric, who receive billions of dollars of government money so they don't have to go bankrupt, it doesn't hurt them because they can't lose. The government's always going to be there for them. But a small business who has to pay a percentage of their employee's salary into an unemployment insurance benefit fund, you know, when that fund is reduced to a certain level, you have to add to it. And in a lot of states, it's mandatory that your taxes go up to cover the deficiency. And by keeping people on unemployment insurance forever, the funds are being drawn down. An example is in Idaho. If the fund falls below a certain amount, X, then your taxes automatically go up. And our taxes have doubled for unemployment insurance in the state of Idaho because of all the people who are on unemployment. We'd be far better off to let these people go onto welfare, let them get their JP Morgan debit card for food stamps, and let the national outrage happen by all these people who have to be on welfare. But they don't want an uncomfortable, embarrassing welfare check showing up. They want an innocuous state unemployment insurance benefit check to show up because it keeps those people happy and it keeps their butts in their seats. So anyway, that's my take on the jobs bill, or so-called jobs bill, coming out. I'm going to put out another video because I had a very interesting experience this afternoon and about a military exercise going on in my neighborhood. And look for that video after this one. But for now, that's all I got.